Hi y'all, Crystal here from ChristaCoDesign. Today we are making the Warm Citrus Granny Square Dishcloth. You'll need about 171 yards of We Crochet Dishies yarn, a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. It's 100% cotton. And a 5.5 millimeter US size I crochet hook. You'll need 1 ball each of Creme Brûlée, which is color A, the yellow. This is our center color, our first color, so we'll use about 23 yards total for 12 squares. Clementine, color B, the brightest orange. Colonial Rose, color C, our muted orange color. And Sunbaked, color D, the darkest. Clementine, Colonial Rose, and Sunbaked, we will use about 18 yards each. And then our neutral is Swan, color E. For Swan, we're using about 94 yards. To make this dishcloth, we're going to first crochet 12 granny squares. We're going to make 4 of each color, and then we're going to seam them together. We'll start with a magic circle and chain 2, and then double crochet 3 times in the magic circle. Then we'll chain 2, and this will be our corner. Double crochet 3 more times in the magic circle. And chain 2 for our second corner. Then we'll repeat that again, 3 double crochets in the magic circle, chain 2, and that will make our third corner. And then we'll do our final one, 3 double crochets in the magic circle. And end with a chain 2. Which we will slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet that we made, not the chain 2 that we used to start. And that is round 1. We're going to pull our center tail to close our magic circle tightly. And then since we're changing colors, we're going to pull a long loop, cut our yarn, just going to pull my tail through here to kind of keep it from slipping out before I can work over it and weave it in. And now we're ready to join our next color. Okay, my next color here that I'm using is Colonial Rose, which in the written pattern is color C. So I'll start with a slip knot on my hook. And then we're going to join to our chain 2 corners that we made. I'm going to join to the one that's right before where I joined my round 1 there. Start with my chain 2. That chain 2 doesn't count. And I'm going to work over my tail just to keep it secure. In this corner, I'm placing 3 double crochets. A chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. I'm creating the corner for round 2. And chain 1, skip over the 3 double crochets. Then in the next chain 2 corner, I'm going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in the same corner. Again, here I am creating corners. So each chain 2 space corner, you will always put 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So you can see second corner, first corner, and then in the chain 1 space on the side there, that's where we'll place a regular granny. So we're going to do a chain 1, skip 3 double crochets, and in the next chain 2 space corner, we're placing the same 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. We'll keep repeating that around. Chain 1, skip 3, and then place 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in my last chain 2 corner. Okay, we chained 1. We're going to skip our last 3 double crochets and then join to the first double crochet we made with a slip stitch. And that's round 2. We're changing colors again, so we pull up that long loop and cut our yarn so that we can attach our third color. Let me just secure this tail here by pulling it through the next stitch to the back for now. We'll weave these in at the end. Okay, our third color is Swan. It's a cream color, and we are joining to any chain 2 corner space, but I'm going after the join there. Joining with the slip stitch and then making a chain 2 to get started. That does not count. And just like our previous rounds, we're placing 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets all in this corner space. And that's our first corner made for this round. Chain 1, skip the next 3 double crochets, and in that chain 1 space we're going to place 3 double crochets. A cluster of 3 is called a granny in this circumstance. And then we will chain 1, and we're skipping that 3 double crochets, and in our corner chain 2 place we're working 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets to create our corner for this round. And that's our second corner, and then we just repeat. Chain 1, skip 3, work 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip 3 double crochets, and then when we get to our corners, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, skip 3 in this chain 1 space, place 3 double crochets, chain 1 again, skip 3, and we're back to a corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we're on our final side here. We'll chain 1, skip 3, in the chain 1 space, place 3 double crochets, chain 1, and slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Pull up the long loop and cut your yarn. And that is our square for this dish dowel pattern. Right here, what I'm doing is taking them off the blocking board. So I've already got them wet and pinned them into square shape. So they're all relatively the same size and nice and neat. And they'll be easy to sew together. So make 12 squares total, 4 of each color, block them. I'll link up a blocking video for you if you need more detail on that. Make your layout. So you want to make 4 of each color. The brightest orange is Clementine, or color B in the pattern. So I'm making 4 granny squares with color B. With color C, Colonial Rose, which is the second one here on the right, I am making 4. And then the darkest one is Sunbaked, color D, and I am making 4 squares of that one as well. After you have worked all your squares, you want to lay them out in pattern so that you have your pattern set, your layout, before sewing them together. In my example, I am doing, for the first row, I'm starting with color C, then B, then D. Then the second row from left to right is D, C, and B. The third row is B, D, and C. And then the final row is C, B, D again. So once you have them laid out just how you like them, you're going to take a quick picture of them or write it out so you know which way to go. And then I'm going to show you how to seam them together. We're just going to use our crochet hook and some of the light Swan color, the color you use in your final round. So we're going to seam them together in threes, and you'll want to fold them so that the right sides are touching and you're working on the wrong side, which is what I've done here. I folded the furthest right one on top of the middle one, so now I'm looking at the wrong side of the darkest one there. So you're going to pull out a length of yarn and your crochet hook. We'll start with a slip knot, and we're going to start by joining in the corner, the chain 2 corners, and we'll just slip stitch those two together. So just make sure you're going through both squares. Yarn over and pull that through both squares and through the loop on your hook. And then you're going to insert the hook in the next stitch under 2 loops in the first square and 2 loops in the back square. Yarn over and pull through both and the loop on your hook to slip stitch them together. Now you're just working straight down the edge, matching up stitch for stitch so you can make sure they're lined up neatly. We're going to slip stitch all along this edge here until we get to the next corner. So we'll end with a slip stitch in that chain 2 space corner. Flip it open there, and then we're looking at the right side, and you can see our nice flat seam there. So now we're going to attach the third one in this row. So we'll just pull up a long loop there, cut your yarn, and then you're going to join a new length of yarn with a slip stitch. And we'll slip stitch this together in the same way, joining on the chain 2 corner and slip stitching each stitch for stitch along the row, making sure to go through both granny squares. For the chain 1 spaces, I work under the 2 loops of the chain 1. It's a little bit tighter of a fit, but that's how I prefer to do it. You can also just go into the chain space itself like we're doing in the corner if you find that easier. Okay, again, we're going all the way through to the chain 2 space at the end, pull up a long loop and cut the yarn. So now we have a row of 3 joined together. We'll join all of our squares in groups of 3 like this, and then we'll join our rows of 3 together to make our full dishcloth. So you'll just want to make sure you follow your pattern that you took a picture of or you laid out. Okay, now we have our 4 groups of 3, so we can lay these out and we're going to seam them horizontally. So we'll just fold them right sides together and seam across the same way with our slip stitch and our crochet hook. Start with a slip stitch in the corner space and then go stitch for stitch across. We're always working into stitches, so it's really easy to do this slip stitch join here, and it's really neat and tidy, gives you a nice sturdy join. Okay, one thing to note is that we will come across our seams here where we already joined, and we're just going to go over those. It should be at the corners, right? So you're going from one chain 2 corner space to the next, and they're already joined there, and you have tails and everything. So just kind of skip over it. You might pull up a little bit looser stitch there since it's a wider spot, and keep going. Here, let me show you how our seam is laying, nice and flat. See, our join is flat there. Very pretty slip stitch seam. Seam together all of your rows until you have all 4 sets put together. Remember to refer back to your color layout if you need help with that. Again, you're going to end your rows in the corner chain 2 spaces when you slip stitch. So we're on the wrong side here. You can see the slip stitch seams, how defined they are. Pull up your long loop and cut your tail there. Just make sure to weave in those ends very well. I'll link up the Weave in Your Ends tutorial for you if you need that detailed information as well. Next up, we are going to add our single crochet border around to make it nice and neat and all tied together. To do that, we're going to use the same color or the last color that your squares were made in, which is Swan here. We'll use our slip knot and join to a corner. So I'm actually going to use my slip knot here and yarn over and use both of these as a single crochet. So I'll yarn over and pull through 2, and that will be my first single crochet, chain 2, and then go back into the chain 2 space and place another single crochet. So we have single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. We'll work 1 single crochet in each double crochet, and we'll work 1 single crochet in each chain space. And when we get to the corners, we're going to place a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And then when we get all the way back around, we'll just join to the first single crochet we made with the slip stitch. Pull up a long loop, cut your yarn, and then you can weave in all of your ends